The 1st of January. You finally wake up with your head pounding after the crazy parties of the last night, and you remember what day it is. New year, new me. You look at your perfect list of the New Year's resolutions and decide that this is going to be the year. It's high time you started living your dream life. This seems like a generally great day. One gets to reflect, plan, and get excited. However, what is not known by most people is that it's also the day when most suicides are committed. With the tension rising over the Christmas season, the first day of the year is the deadliest of them all when it comes to people taking their life. A study conducted in 2015 has shown that there is a 40% increased risk of suicide on the 1st of January compared to the rest of the year. This is partly connected to the huge expectations of celebrating big events like the New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, or your birthday. If you've ever felt birthday blues, that is probably because of the social concept that you absolutely need to be doing something extraordinary that day. Even if you had a relatively great day, it might not seem good enough, leaving you disappointed. For example, you might invite a friend over. You eat a delicious lunch, then go out for some ice cream, and maybe come back and watch a movie. Although you had a great time, you subconsciously compare your birthday to the other birthdays you've seen in the movies, Instagram, or your friends. You're supposed to have this huge party with all your best friends and get all those expensive gifts. You might not even want to do that, but society imposes that on you. So in the end, you might feel disappointed or dissatisfied, and you can't even point out what it is that makes you feel that way. To recognize that this is just because of the social expectations, ask yourself a question. Was this a day I would have enjoyed if it was a regular day? If the answer is yes, you should probably ignore the social pressure and enjoy the day. Now, the big expectations of celebrating events like that can be the only reason for the increased risk. Christmas has actually been associated with a lower suicide rate, which might seem contradictory. It's the time of family, love, and gratitude. If one is unhappy, yet is being surrounded with songs declaring that it's the most wonderful time of the year, they feel lonelier than ever. Scientists suspect that this is due to the people's concern about their close ones and trying not to destroy the festive atmosphere. Knowing that the huge expectations can't be the only thing that contributes to the higher suicide risk on the first day of the year, scientists came up with another thing, and they called it the broken promise effect. Think if you ever were extremely excited about a new year or a new school, thinking that it's the perfect opportunity for you to finally become the person you'd always wanted to be. Picturing everything you were going to do, thinking about all the fun you were going to have, and then something didn't work out. If you've been there, you will probably understand the concept. The new beginnings, that you have a change in your life, create a fresh start. But if you have those unrealistic expectations and they aren't met, they will only leave you hopeless. And the new beginnings aren't always obvious. January isn't actually the deadliest month of the year, but you might try to think what other period is connected to a higher risk because of the new beginning. It might seem counterintuitive, but it isn't until spring that the graphs start rising again, although winter has been forever associated with gloom and sadness. And it makes sense if you think about it. Spring is also connected to a new beginning. As nature comes back to life, people start going out more and sun shines more often. In contrast with all that bliss, a depressed person might feel even worse, seeing all those people enjoying themselves, which they can't really relate to. This is also true for the southern hemisphere, where the highest suicide rates are noted around November. Now, let's look at a week. Monday is associated with a 20% increased risk of suicide compared to the weekends. Once again, if you ever were unhappy or dissatisfied with your life after the weekend, it might be because of the new beginning. Another boring week. Nothing has changed. This effect is rather subtle and it won't be noticeable in everyone. It was particularly observed in people aged over 50 and those living alone. But it's an important statistic when it comes to suicide prevention. And you can see a pattern. After the period of reduced risk, there comes a rise in the statistics of suicide rates. After the weekend, we have Monday, an increased risk. After Christmas, we have the New Year's Day, another increased risk. Now, what can we do with all that information? Is there anything we can do? Well, acknowledging that those seasonal spikes exist is the first step. As soon as more people, psychiatrists, clinics become aware of this issue, they can be better prepared for the riskier times. This is also important information for everyone, especially the close ones of mentally struggling people, to treat the person with a special delicacy, love, and care. But it doesn't end there. All of us need to acknowledge how the big events can trigger stress and sorrow in our lives. Instead of seeking the perfect celebration, you should try to find those little things that make your day better. For example, you might go out and see a really cute dog on the street. Or maybe you talked to a friend that you haven't heard from for a while. Or maybe you made yourself dinner, and even if it didn't work out, you tried to do something for yourself. Feel free to write those precious moments down and look back at the list when you're feeling blue. This type of attitude brings the spotlight back to your regular life and takes away from the stress of celebrating big events. Furthermore, we absolutely cannot attach unrealistic expectations to the new beginnings. Have you ever thought to yourself, okay, I would like to work on my grades, or okay, I would like to work on my body. The new year will be the time of my absolute glow up. You don't have to wait for an outside event to change your life. Frankly, in most cases, it won't. But if you do want to change something about it, realize that you can start today and focus on the things that you can do about it. Thank you.